Hello, everyone, and welcome to VisionAir Talks, Episode 2. Today, I'm super excited to be joined by one of the most creative and inspiring balloon artists in the world, the amazing Phileas Flash, also known as Rupert Appleyard. Phileas is known for his incredible balloon twisting, unique characters, expressive faces, and large scale twisting installation that truly stand out. So let's jump in and get to know the artist behind the balloons. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm very good. How lovely to see you, Kobe.
So lovely to see you, Phileas.
How's everything
Um,
with you?
I'm great, and I'm so honored that you are here with us. And first of all, for the beginning of the interview, I would like you to introduce yourself in some word, if you can, so
Oh,
the viewers can understand who are you.
well, I'm me. My name's Rupert Appleyard. You might not have heard of the name Rupert Appleyard. That's my real, genuine name. It's a very unusual name, even in England. My other name, though, that a lot of balloon artists have heard of me as, and other people as well, is Phileas Flash, which is really strange that everyone knows me as Phileas because it's not really my real name, but I kind of like it. It's awesome. And people in the, I had someone this summer come up and go, "Oh, is that Phileas Flash?" So I was playing a completely different character, and they knew me as Phileas Flash, not Rupert Appleyard. So I think Phileas is cool. Look, I'm wearing my Phileas Flash gear. This is my performing gear for you today, Kobe. So I guess you could be Rupert Phileas. You can call me Dorothy. I really don't mind. Whatever you want to call me, my friend, it's all good. Oh, and who am I? Sorry, these answers are going to meander. I am a balloon artist. I'm known for making large scale balloon sculptures, but I'm also an entertainer. I started out in circus and as an actor, and I still act and don't really do circus, but I do a lot of street performing. And I have a really cool project called Fairy Finding, which we might
That's
talk
cool. Actually, I know you as one of the best artist twisters in the world. And for me, I'm really honored that you are here because I grow uh, of you. So you are like my idol. And I'm really, really happy that you are here with us for our second episode.
That's
Let's
so
start.
kind of you. Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, never meet your idols. Hey, that's a terrible thing. But you
Okay,
are
so
awesome,
my
man. I've seen what you've been off doing, and I think it's amazing. Like you've been doing some really good works, and it's really incredible for me as someone who used to do more balloons than I do now, right? And seeing how the art form's taking off, and seeing uh, great people, great artists like yourself going off and taking balloon art worldwide, and that's awesome, an awesome and amazing thing. So thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you very much. So let's start with the first question. Um, how did you first fall in love with balloon twisting? How it starts?
Uh, do you want the magical moment? The magical moment for me.
Of course.
So I said I started in circus. I was an actor before that, right? And my brother found this circus. My brother Justin Appleyard, he's a really talented clown, and he would balloon twist and do all these great acts with it, and it was all right. It was all right. This is like early 2000s, and I was the evil ringmaster on the show. And one day we're walking through. I'm from England. I'm English. I live in Canada, but I'm English. But we were walking through Framlingham Castle, handing out tickets for the circus, and I saw him making a balloon flower for a lady. She must have been in her 70s, 80s. And for a few seconds, she became a child again when she got given this flower. And just the joy that she had. And I've never really wanted to learn balloons. It's never been something that interested me. And then I saw that and I thought, you know what? I would like to be able to do that one day. Be able to make a flower and make a senior citizen feel like she was a child again. I like the idea of time traveling. Little splash time twister. Um,
That's a great story.
yeah.
Most of I think that most of the artists in the world starts from making people happy, and this is the things that in balloons that makes you fall in love with this kind of uh, material.
Well, there's a certain amount of whimsy to it, isn't there? And it connects with you in a almost a childlike way. Um, you can, it's a bit like, Santa Claus, right? Santa Claus walks into a room, everyone recognizes him as Santa Claus. It makes you feel a certain way. It brings you back to your childhood. And I think that's the same with balloons. It doesn't matter if you're making a little puppy dog. It doesn't matter if you're making something that's a very serious. I don't know if you can see, I've got Ned Stark on the Iron Throne. It's still got whimsy and it's still got fun and it's still got joy to it. And I think that's what the world needs is more joy, right? So especially in times like this, balloons are the best thing ever because they connect to the child, and we stop being adults for a little bit and play. And it's all about play, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you are the master of characters, and I really want to know how did you find your own style, your own way in this kind of method?
Okay, so the way of finding my style is the antithesis of which means the opposite of what most balloon artists would say. I don't know actually, but anyone who wants to sell a tutorial is going to say it's the opposite because I taught myself, and because I taught myself, I can make anything you ask me to put in my hands. And I taught myself. You see, I said earlier, do you want the magical answer or the less magical answer? And the less magical answer is I was very poor after the circus finished, and I had to make balloons. Right? That's my friend said to me, if you want to make, if you've got balloons in your pocket, you should always make money, even though you can only make a flower, which is all I can make. So I started doing whatever people asked me on the street just to make money. And because they'd ask me for, oh, I want a train, I'd say, well, I have never made a train before, but I'll give it a go, right? And so that's what I did. I started going, well, what does a train look like? How would a train be made out of this? I'd say, don't ask me for a dog, because I knew everyone knew the shape of a dog. A balloon dog is a very universal thing. And I didn't know how to make that. So I'd just make something up from scratch. So from that's really how my style developed. So I have a very freestyle way of doing things. I don't really plan things, which is, I think on some of the big builds, people go, "Oh, what's he going to do now?" But I let the balloon speak for itself. It's like you kind of have an idea of what you want to achieve, and then you make it. And I think that comes from someone coming up to me and saying, "I've got an idea of what I'd like to make my child out of balloons," and me going, "Okay, then, sure."
So it's all about practice. You practice a lot,
Um,
or it's
see,
imagination.
no, I think imagination is the main thing with my style, anyway. I practice from working, and I mean, I look back at some of the balloons I've made from earlier on, and I'm horrified, right? Balloons I've made earlier on, and it doesn't always go right. But so I think practice is key, and I think that's why there are so many great balloon artists. Do you know what I really like about balloon art? Balloon art, it doesn't matter what your brain's at, where your brain is from. You can make a unique piece of balloon art because there are so many different styles. It's so vividly incredible. Like you had about Emon, like the stuff that guy does is incredible. It's a completely different style to what I do. To me, it blows my stuff out of the water, man. There's some amazing balloon arts because it embraces all these different ways that people think, and it's so that because it's not really defined yet. I think especially twisting and some of these bigger scale decor pieces you see now, and the fact that those two things are merging, I really find that interesting because it means that anyone's imagination can be sparked with a balloon, and then their technique goes the way that they want, right? Like it leads into the direction they need to go. So I'm terrible at making columns and walls and things like that. But there are people who love doing that, right?
Definitely. Look, in my big installation, there
Mm-hmm.
always was twisters and decorators as well, working together, and it works really perfectly because you need the both of them.
Right.
Of course, you can find artists that doing the both, but
Yep.
if you want to make something really special, you need the professionals in the both of the method, and not
Exactly.
just twister or decorator.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I find that very interesting. Is yeah, a lot of the decor pieces are just stunning, but to me, it's really it wouldn't be something I could do. I tried it. my brain doesn't math with the decor as well. And I think if you just had me, what you'd end up with is a sculpture, like a little sculpture somewhere and another little sculpture. But to make a huge event like you're doing, you need to fill space. You need to use it's like being an artist, right? A lot of the really great masters would use a small paintbrush to do the detail and a big broad palette of colors to do the back and bigger paintbrushes. And I think that's balloon art. You have decor is often these big bold, not always, but often the big bold strokes. And a twister can come and add that detail that draws the eye and really helps.
I really think that also when you are doing a big installation, like you said, you have to have uh, the background and the details. If you
Yeah,
don't have the details, the background is so boring.
right.
And if you have only the details, the overall look of the
Yeah.
design will look not perfect.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. But sometimes I think that that's a great balance. I also think though that sometimes imperfection is its own joy, especially in twisting, because man, I am not. I see these people who can do these great weaves and they're very precise, but my weaves, man, not precise at all. I'm looking to see. I've got something here. I was going to show you because when you make faces and like I make balloon faces. Everyone's always like, "How'd you get so good?" So this was a face I was trying to make for an event the other day. And yeah, it didn't go right. It got all the way, and then something popped, and it didn't go right. And that is what happens, right? So when you think, "Oh, that guy's so fantastic," no, there's 15 of these lying around and a lot of frustration as well, right?
It's
Just want
happened
to show
to
you
all of us.
perfection does this to you. So I
Definitely.
think there is joy in imperfection and seeing that as well with that making a broad picture with decorators and twisters.
Great. So tell me, please, when you have a new design,
Mhm.
what comes first? The idea, the technique, or the actual personality of the character?
Okay. So the very first thing for me is got to be the idea, right? Or it's generally a theme. So a lot of things I make, and I am thinking of maybe changing this if I get time, but a lot of things I've made traditionally have been for an event of some description, right? Or I'm being commissioned to do something, or I had, as I said, this was actually going to be an astronaut at one point, Chris Hatfield. It doesn't look like Chris Hatfield. So my original idea was make Chris Hatfield out of balloons because this theme was astronauts. And then it went terribly wrong. And I'm like, it's really late at night. So I ended up making a thing for a kid's birthday party that was an astronaut, right? But the client doesn't know I was making Chris Hatfield. Maybe the kid liked the other one more. The idea, the theme comes first for me, and then it's the idea. And I'm not a good technical balloon twister. I'm really not good technically. I'm good at seeing the form of it and working out how to make something look right from a distance with all the details and bits mixed in. Um, and then I think the personality kind of comes in as you're working it because you start seeing it, right? Imagine this face of work and I was making it and I'd be just going back and prodding like bits. And then you go, "Oh no, it's not quite right. It's there." And sometimes that brings out a personality. It brings out what you want to achieve. So yeah, personality is kind of the last thing, unless that's the idea. I think I made some Halloween characters once, and the idea was trick or treaters, so you could see they were wearing masks, or one of them's got a Frankenstein hood on, the other one's got a fake nose. I thought it was just really funny to have a balloon that had a fake nose. So that made me laugh. And I think that was personality. That was the personality of the characters I wanted to show. So I guess that
I,
discounts
I,
the rest of my
I
answer.
remember that several years ago, many years ago, I bought your DVD, um,
Okay.
and I remember that there you actually explained about the actual personality details that you need to put on each character and each face, and to look on the real photo of the character that you want to make, and to start to actually engineering the face to
Yeah,
think how the noses look like, how the eyes looks like. So yeah, it's I understand you, and um, it's amazing how you can do it so perfectly.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, no, it is because I don't know. It's a gift as well. I love faces, right? I carve. Oh, that's not down there. But I carve wood at the moment as well. And the thing I'm obsessed. The thing I'm good at doing is faces. It's just something I'm obsessed with people's faces. I think they're the most expressive and amazing thing ever. And it's how so much communication goes on in this little space. So I'm fascinated by it. And so I think that to me is why, especially for me, I like spend so much time trying to tune it. And I had I think one of the most famous balloons I made was for AMC, The Walking Dead. And I made Daryl Dixon, who was on his motorbike with these zombies around him. My friend Dan helped. And yeah, the thing was his head, I had it perfect. It looked just like him, and then it all popped.
Oh,
And I was just about to film it, and it was like it popped. I came downstairs. Oh. And so I had to go because then that was being like really perfectionist on it, and so I popped it instead. So for me, the next thing was I had to remake that head, and it actually came out more stylistic and better, which was funny. So
what do you think about distortions, like face
ooh,
distortions?
yeah, man, that's a crazy thing. Distortions. I think they're great. Jason Sakoda and Guido Verhoff, both incredible, and have shown me so much with distortions. You need strength in your hands, right, to do a good distortion. Um, I think they're incredible. I'll show you a picture just over here, and it's one of my favorites. But it's the first time I put a distortion in a balloon.
Oh
I
wow,
just learned it from Twist and Shout. There was Guido Verhoff was doing a distortion class. This was my distortion on the nose, and
amazing!
that was the first time I'd ever done it, and it was for Dr. Nefario here. Though.
I remember that from long time ago.
Yeah, man.
This photo.
Yeah, I think he was 2015, something like that. So maybe 10 or 11 years ago now, that balloon. People still
Wow.
remember the balloons you make 10, 15, 14 years later, right? Like, you were
So
already
you are the
making that.
first one of the first ones that use distortion.
Yeah, but I got it from Guido, and he was making Oscars, like Oscars, and these figures, these very lovely, emotional characters that were hugging each other. And it was beautiful. And I'd never known how to do it. And I went to my first Twist and Shout in 2014. So that must have been 2014 then. And I saw him make, I took his class. I was teaching faces. And I said, I'm going to take one class because I want one class that will really blow me away and will give me something to take my artwork onto the next level. And it was Guido's. He showed me how to do distortion, and suddenly I'm distorting, and I'm like, I can make a really cool nose out of this. I can make a face that looks a bit different. And yeah, I mean, and the other one's Jason Sakoda, man. If you've seen Jason's the arm structures he makes, it's incredible.
I attended
And he bases them all on my muscles, obviously.
2 years ago. I attended to Twist and Shout, and I arrived to his class. It was amazing, like distortion class. Wow, really talented guy.
Oh, he's incredible. And he loves it as well. He's a real artist. So yeah, he's amazing.
Amazing. Okay, so tell me, please, when you have a big installation, unique one,
Yeah,
what's what is the hardest technical part in this kind of installation
for me, for
for you?
me,
Yeah.
for me is planning.
What do you
Um,
mean? What do
all
you
of it,
mean by planning?
all of it, all of the planning, like what balloons I've got to order, especially what balloons I've got to order. That's always it. I want a selection of things. So if you were to say, Rupert, I need you to come and make a giant emu. Sure, I can make a giant emu. Can I do it? Yeah. And then I've got to work out what balloons I'm going to need for a giant emu. Because you're going to ask me, and I'm going to go, well, I really no idea. I've never made a giant emu. I'll make one, but I've got no idea what I'll use what I've got, right? So when you, and that I think that's the hardest thing for me is that forward thought because I just make it out of whatever I've got.
Amazing. I have a funny story. Um,
Yeah.
Several years ago, I made a hats and bracelets in a wedding, inside a
Mhm.
wedding, the actual dance floor, and one granny came to me, Russian granny, and he told me, "I want you to make me a chiburashka." Chiburashka, it's like a little doll, a Russian doll, looks like a mouth of or a bear, something like this, hairy doll. I'm like, oh no, how it looks like, and
Yeah.
it was hard to understand how to build it, but I managed it, and it was great. And the really fun story about that, it had happened like this because of you, because uh, uh, three 3 days before
Mhm.
this wedding, I watched your video,
Oh
and
no.
it was so amazing how I like oh. Rupert told me to look at the details and to see how the nose is and how the ears, and I managed it. It was wonderful to see it.
Hey, there
After
you go.
15 minutes, I think
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
was a Chiburashka doll. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's great.
great.
I'm
Like,
so glad that helped. I'm so glad I see things. I know that there are different ways to see things, and I can step back and like see it as a pattern. I think that's kind of I squint a lot like this. I know another famous artist. I wouldn't give away their technique. I think I did in a video once, but they look in a mirror to take themselves outside of the balloon. So you start seeing it because once you get a shape, you can start making anything, like any weird beastie thing. Oh. If you've got an idea of a base to go on, and then you just build it, and if it looks wrong, like the other thing, and I think that's the important thing when you're doing little challenges like that, is whatever you make is a gift to the person who gets it, and it's a terrible curse in a way, but it's also a wonderful gift. Is that the expectations of balloon art aren't actually that high. So what you do by taking this stab in the dark and making something amazing on the spur of the moment and giving it to someone is you're giving them a gift, and they don't know that it's not your best work, right? You can go, it's my best, and they'll go, oh, it's amazing because it's not just a balloon dog or a balloon sword.
yeah, I'm dealing with that a lot. We are as a balloon artist, we are so professionals and so like perfectionists.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, especially, I'm feeling really hard to deliver creation or sculpture that is not 100% ready. And
Man,
yeah,
it's hard.
it's happened. You
Yeah.
don't,
Oh,
you can't control all the time what
right.
you will get, but we know how to to pass it. Like,
Well, like an artist is always going to have a vision that's 179 or 100%, right? You've got a vision 100% what you want, or you've got I need to achieve this for my client. But in reality, most times an artist isn't going to ever hit 100% because if you do, you've made the perfect artwork, and you're going to stop going after that elusive artwork, right? So I think the fact that you're going, well, it's not quite what I had in mind, and then it's not complete, but actually that incompletion is part of the beauty. As long as it still looks like the thing and the client's happy, if the client's happy, you have to step away from things, right? This photo, the Ned Stark, I wasn't happy with how he looked, but I was running out of time, and actually all these swords were all double stuffed, and it took me forever. And that is the amount of balloons back before all the chromes and reflexes, right? These are all double stuffed balloons. But I would have made that throne. That throne should have been much bigger, right? It's not complete. But no one knows that apart from me.
it's actually amazing photo,
Thank you.
because you are not actually making the face, you're making a story. You actually take the figure and building the whole story behind him or with him. Like
Right.
the photo that I'm seeing at the other side of your wall, the one with the wings, it's
Yeah.
like a real story with one character. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's a favourite of mine. It's he's kind of angelic, but it's Icarus, right? The guy who flew too close to the sun.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. So there is actually a story there. Now he looks very happy. I think that's before the balloons pop on his under his arms. But yeah, I don't think you get too far with balloon wings. But I kind of don't see it as Icarus anymore. It's kind of angelic to me, that one. I just like that photo. It's really nice. But I think that's the thing. If you can, all right. So someone else once described what I do wasn't so much being a balloon technician. I kind of capsule feelings into balloons. I try and put a story in every balloon I make if I can. Um, I think when I was in China on the world's biggest balloon zoo project, I made wolves, and I tried to give them stories, even though they're an animal. I thought, well, that they could have a little story going on. So you come in, where the audience come in, and they see these wolves, their blue eyes looking at you, and then you go around the corner, and the rest of the pack has joined. So it's like the scouts out here, they see you, and one's howling. You go around the corner, and the rest of the pack are all looking at you with these yellow and blue eyes. It was great. So, but you can get a story out of anything. There's story to be found in all sorts of things. There's personality to be found, and I think my favorite balloon I've ever made is all story, and it's the same concept as this one image, one character against black, and that was the World War I soldier that I made. And I think he's my favorite balloon because I post him up on Remembrance Day, yeah, which is about veterans and soldiers. And every year I post him up, and every year people say it makes them cry, and I find that fascinating because I was crying making it. I was watching a lot of war movies and thinking about the sacrifice that so many made for us. And as I was doing it, I was watching this, and I was crying watching these movies. They're very sad movies. Um, and I think it captured that in that photo. It captured that in that balloon. And yeah, I've had people saying they cried. I put it up with a poem written by a World War I soldier, and I
Wow.
think it had power. And for me, it's fascinating. A balloon makes you happy, and yet this one is making people sad, or at least making them remember something very serious, right? So I think there's a great power in that.
But balloon can make you not only happy, it can make you proud, it can make you
Right?
sad, like you said,
Yeah.
a lot of emotions because we using material that really make people feel like a lot of mixed emotions when they see
Right?
balloons. Because
Yeah.
in one part they are like little kids that enjoying
Yeah.
the balloons, and on the other part they we are using the this material to make an art,
Right?
and so it's all mixed together. They are seeing an art, and
Right?
in some way they are seeing something that makes people happy.
Hmm.
And the reason why I'm saying that it's because in drawing, when you have paintings, I don't think that paintings can make someone happy. Maybe if it's a painting of a child that's smiling, or I don't know. It's so serious. But with our materials, with the balloons, it's an art that makes you happy and makes you
Yeah.
feel a lot of emotions if you
Yeah.
can if you see them.
I think there's something very special about balloons. Like people line up for hours to get balloons, right? Especially twisted ones. People will line up, and it becomes they stand in lines and they're waiting, and then there's that emotional happiness when they get the balloon animal, and it's suddenly all worth it. I think that then transfers to other balloon arts too. And people are the associations that people have as generally celebrations, right? They're generally celebrations of life. Like people say, "Oh, your happiest day the day you got married," or some people it's not the happiest day, but they might have balloons there. It might be the day you graduate. Ah, what a relief! There's this huge relief and joy with balloons, and I think that translates through, and I think it allows you to hotwire into people's other emotions if you so desire to make something that can affect people differently, or you can make that kid really proud that they outfoxed you and you made them, or that proud kid who's wearing a jetpack like and he's flying around. Just brilliant. It's there's that whole art of play, right?
That's really, really amazing. Okay. Can you please take us behind the scenes, how you actually starting a sculpture and finish it? What is your method? What is your actual levels to get a ready sculpture?
Okay, so I will get an order of whatever it is from someone. I'm going to go back to that because it's important. It's important that someone tells me what they want, and when I hear that, I go, "Can I make it? Yes, I can make something along those lines, or make something." And then I have to decide what I'm going to make. And sometimes, for most things, what I do is I generally have a stock of balloons in that I can draw on. And if I know something's coming up, like let's say, well, let's use the wedding. If the bride and groom want me to make the bride and groom and she's wearing a white dress, I'm going to have white balloons in, so I know I've got them, right? And that's my first process. A lot of people go straight to drawing. And if a client wants me to, I will draw it, or if I have to make a proposal, I will draw the thing. But generally, otherwise, if someone's ordering something, I will think about it. I'll try and come up with an idea. I'll worry about it. Come up with an idea, and I'll go, "That's what I'm going to make." And then I let the balloons kind of take over. That sounds so strange, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's say,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it sounds strange. Let the balloons take over. So let's say this had worked, and I had Chris Hatfield, and I thought, well, a good idea would be to make Chris Hatfield. So I made sure I had the balloons in that I needed. I got a picture of Chris Hatfield off the internet. I downloaded it, and I looked at it, and I know a rough way to make a face. It's the same structure I've used for years. So I'd start making the face, and then I start detailing it until it eventually pops, and I throw it away, and I come up with a different idea.
Wow, amazing. Is
I don't know.
AI
That's just how my brain works.
is AI programs um, today? I know that there is a lot of arguing or discussions about AI in our industry as
Mm-hmm.
helper or as something that will makes the artist work less or be less imaginate or whatever.
Yeah,
What's your thought about that?
I'm really against AI. Sorry, I am.
I'm
Um,
I'm part of agreeing with you
mhm.
because I'm using AI especially for like um, references or
Mhm.
ideas, large ideas. But the actual art, I'm using my mind, my
For
actual
sure. Oh, for
imagination.
sure. Like I, am I perfect? No, I'm not, right? So I will always say I do something. It's up to you what you do. And if you use AI, I mean, I'm predominantly talking generative AI. I'm not a fan of generative AI because it's basically stealing artists' work and then churning it all into a machine and then feeding it out. So as an artist, I don't approve of that. There's a lot of people whose work has come through and been reproduced, especially like computer and computer designers, and also art like traditional mediums. As far as balloons go, there's a few things as well that I find. I think it's better to give because people show clients pictures of AI and suddenly it muddies the waters with what you can actually achieve, right? Let's say this balloon here, when it came out, that was an amazing balloon. And the reason is it's real, right? So I think, and it's because you're working with the confines of the balloons. Now, AI doesn't understand the confines of the balloons. I mean, if it was the picture that was in my head when I made this balloon, or if I got AI to make it, it would have been different. And when I then tried to recreate that, I wouldn't be using the balloons at my disposal. I'd have to try and work it out and get as close as I can get. And therefore, I'm copying an AI balloon. And my work is human. It's never going to be as perfect, but it will have motion, which the AI doesn't. So I think it's very dangerous to use AI as, like, for me, I'm going to go to, if I put in to Chris Hadfield astronaut, I want a picture of Chris Hadfield astronaut. I don't want what AI thinks of Chris Hadfield astronaut, because it'll have 10 fingers and 5 eyebrows. And even if it doesn't, right? Like, I'm trying to go to the original source, but you work with what works for you. I know some people really use AI to create amazing, beautiful things. I'm not a
You
fan of
don't
it. We've got
think
so
that
many talented people in the world. We don't need a computer to be talented in that way. Let the computer do the things it needs to do, like surgeries, and not we don't need surgeons, but the stuff that humans need help with. I think once there were so many great artists. Why do we need to have computers that make us look obsolete?
don't you think that AI help us to short timings? Like if you need to explain your client
Mm-hmm.
about a character or figure that you want to make, and for showing him the actual character, you have two options.
Mm-hmm.
One option is to make it, pre-make it, and then
Mm-hmm.
show him the character, and it's not definitely that he will close the deal with you, and
Yeah.
you just waste your time for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the other option is to use AI to make something that's similar, or I don't know, just a reference for your client, and to show it to him, and then you can close the deal easily.
Sure. Sure. I can see how it worked for you, or I can see how it worked for someone else. And as I said, you do what you do. I so if I'm going into, okay, so I used to do sales. I don't know if you know this. I used to be a salesman, and in some sales jobs I was terrible. In some sales jobs I was brilliant. I'm not actually very good at selling myself, but I'm very good at selling products. The products I could sell were the ones I believed in. There's an old saying in sales that people don't buy products, they buy people, especially on something of this kind of scale and size. So I think that if when I was selling the bigger scale builds, I sell them on an idea of what it's going to be. I say, oh, well, I'm going to have a giant elephant over there. And it'll be a giant elephant. You'll see, it'll be beautiful. And oh, well, I've got such and such coming in to help me. They're one of the best balloon artists in the world. Oh, did you know that? Well, we can do it. Sure. I've got no idea what I'm doing, but sure, we can do it. And we get and like that way I give them a vision. I might do a pencil sketch. And I told you I'm not good at planning. So I'm like, this is what it will be roughly. And actually my work is better when they just trust we're going to make a big elephant. And I think
I'm
that,
agreeing with you,
yeah,
because this is what I did for all of my exhibitions and all my builds.
for sure.
I didn't had AI at all,
Mm-hmm.
but for now, these times, on the last times, I think that AI can be a powerful tool to help us. But I am agreeing with you about the way we can use it, because it can actually um, harm the industry in
I
some
think it
way.
will. I think it will, but like I've been wrong about stuff before. I was kind of wrong about YouTube. YouTube's awesome, and I remember going, "Oh, YouTube, it's gonna, it was, and people not crediting people. I remember doing all that, and I was wrong. Right? It is what it is. YouTube, something that's going to happen. Maybe AI, something that's going to happen. I'm old, so I'm allowed to be stuck in my ways. Um, I think as well. It's yeah, I get it. I honestly I get it. I get that it's going to give you a lovely visual. I just don't like being tied to things like that. My work's kind of organic, so I think that's kind of the best description. I kind of don't really have much of a plan. So if I give them a person made out of balloons, I think it's gonna, for me anyway, my actual work won't reflect that. And it also it traps me. It traps me into doing what the AI has done. And I don't want to be told what to do by no stinking AI.
Yeah, I
I'm going to do
understand
what I'm going to do. I'm the wild man of balloons.
you.
Rah!
Okay,
Yeah.
let's proceed. How do you balance speed, uh, your strength, and fine details?
Oh gosh. So, yeah, yeah, you're asking me the questions now, aren't you? Yeah. So speed is not my friend. Speed, well, sure. And you ask like any of the big balloon artists who I work with, and they will probably say I'm very slow. Larry Moss would certainly say it, I'm pretty sure, because I'm not fast. But I'm concentrating on a piece of beauty rather than it being fast. Yeah. So I'm not the guy you get to bring in generally, unless I know well in advance to make like one of your pieces, to make it all under my direction. With all these big balloons everywhere, and that's under me, and I'm going to make that and make a big splash, and then I'm going to have 20 characters. No, I'm the guy you get to we want an actual thing that looks like the Mona Lisa over there. That's me. So my speed will be, oh, we're opening tomorrow. How long have I got to do it? What have I got to do in this time? And I will work my way through to that point and not sleep generally to get that stuff done. But yeah, I'm not good at balancing speed because I'm going for not the perfection of the image, but I'm going for the details. So I can't, once I start seeing the details, I become transfixed by them. So I find it hard to balance that. That said, and that's the same in a balloon lineup situation as well, in a large sculptural situation, because a lineup really brings the speed into a sharp vision. Because I still freestyle. You can challenge me to make anything, and I'll make it for you in a lineup. And you're watching your lineup grow, and you're like, oh my god, these people are going to be so annoyed at me by the time they get there. So I've got to speed up. And then the people get to you, and they're like, yeah, that was all right. We're happy to wait. We're happy to wait. Or if they haven't been happy to wait, they've wandered off, and I feel bad. But it's that balance of speed and getting your vision. So I think I'm not as fast. I'm not as slow as I think I am. But yeah, I do struggle with the speed on the large scale stuff.
Sure you are. Okay, so what advice do you have for the artist that wants to level up, wants to be better in twisting, in sculpturing?
Okay. Um, First off, be yourself. It's the best advice you can have in anything, isn't it? Really. Um, you you could look up to someone like me, or let's say you could look up to Kobe here, for example. But we can't do what you can do out there. Whatever it is you can do with balloons is something I can't do. So sure, go and learn all the techniques from people and learn how to do it, and then bring your own unique spin to what you're doing. Because by doing that, you can make something unique that I can't make. That's good advice, right?
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
advice. Yeah, I got given a gift of being able to make faces. If faces is what you can do, go and show me how to make faces, man. Do something better than me. If faces doesn't make your heart sing, show me something you can do. Because I think that's the key. And that's the key with balloons, because balloons play into all these different styles. It's a very fluid art form, right? It's not, no one's gone, oh, best balloons are when you make them into squares. That's the only acceptable type of balloon. So you can make anything.
So it's like being unique in your
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, for sure. Be unique your way. I mean, I can't. I saw Vadim last week, and he wasn't wearing one of these. So be unique your way. He didn't need to. I felt like I needed to today. Be unique your way. Bring your own songs. Spread happiness in the world. You've got time's too short not to, right?
Great motto. Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
So how do you keep yourself inspired
Oh,
after so many years.
making me sound young. You mean after only just joining this career?
You are
Yeah.
young.
Well, I'll never be this young again, will I? So I suppose I am. Um, that is hard, right? Inspired. So I'll be honest. Why not be honest, right? Honesty is the best policy, and I'm sure a few of you, I know a few of the like teachers, um, they felt like this. You lose inspiration. You do. Inspiration goes, and you can chase it, and you can chase it, and you can keep going down the same route. But that's not how inspiration works. Inspiration comes at the weird times when you're not looking for it. Inspiration comes when you're under pressure and you've got to achieve something, and you've got to achieve it by a deadline. That's when inspiration comes. It comes when you're under pressure. Um, and for a long time I stopped being inspired by balloons. So I'll be honest, that I've done off to Japan and done this and been featured, blah, 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 got about as far as I could, and suddenly I'm seeing a lot of balloon artists, and you see all the other balloon artists on social media, their work's incredible, and I'm like, I'm getting old. I don't think I can keep up with this anymore. I can't beat, but these are great balloon artists, and I think they've got their own unique songs to sing too. So for the moment, I'm going to step away from that, is what I did. And I stepped away and I concentrated on another project that brought me joy and brought me inspiration. Doesn't have to do with balloons, although I have balloon twisted as the character, but I'm trying to keep it separate. I followed my inspiration, and my inspiration came from a time when balloons went really badly wrong for me. I had an installation I was doing for a street festival, and all this dirt flew into the tent and killed the balloons. It was a 10-day installation, and every night the balloons would pop, and I'd have to remake them, and then
Oh,
I'd have to it was a mess. And it was because it was a three-sided tent in the middle of the city. And then I went the next week, and it happened again. And the next year they wanted to employ me to do roving because they couldn't have balloons, and I was distraught about this, right? And I said, oh, I'll come up with a wizard character. I'll be a wizard. And then I'm just roving around the festival. Well, what shall I do now? I'll look for fairies. And I got little plastic fairies and started putting them in the trees and created a character out of the fact that balloons didn't work, right? And I think that's where the inspiration, suddenly people are like, ooh. And I'm like, ooh, I'm hiding fairies around, and we can have a little adventure. And suddenly this thing called fairy finding, which is my other big love, as it's helped me find my inspiration again, to carve with wood, to play more with children, make things that I don't have to make on a nightly basis again and again, and live fairy tales and bring magic to people. And I think now, the last couple of years, I've done some really big events and tried to find my inspiration with balloons, but it hasn't really been there. But I've been playing more when I do line work now. And instead of pressuring myself to see this is a big line of people that I've got to get through, I've got to get through all those people, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to play a bit more. I'm going to find my inspiration. I'm going to draw my happiness from seeing a child in my lineup who reminds me of my son being so proud and full of joy because he's been given this moment, this special moment of balloon with his family or whoever it is that he or she has got. So I find that inspiration. I find inspiration when people tell me, God, that's fantastic. How did you do it? I find inspiration from that. And now I'm starting to find my inspiration with balloons again, because I think people like yourselves are showing an interest in what I'm doing again, or what I've done with them. And because I haven't been really releasing, like I used to show you pictures of all my work, right? Very rarely now. Like the astronaut, you haven't seen a picture of that because I haven't posted it. But I'm finding my inspiration again with balloons because I think the world needs joy. We need to feel proud. We need to find a freedom, a happiness that we had when we were children. We need to lighten
definitely
up.
in these days.
All
Definitely.
the world needs to lighten up, and that means it needs a balloon, right?
Yeah. We need to
Just for
light
this
the
moment,
world with balloons more than with fire and wars.
right?
Yeah.
You think human civilization doesn't exist without happiness and love and brightness? It just doesn't. So let's pump into that instead of all
Cheers
the
for that.
division and all that. There's enough of that. It's going to come in one way or another. Let's make happiness. Let's make that special moment for a family walking around one of your installations where they're not thinking about what's happening next. They're going to go around the installation and go, "Oh my goodness, look at that! It's the Statue of Liberty made out of balloons." That's brilliant, right? That family for a moment isn't thinking about all the negative nonsense. They're having a moment that hopefully they'll treasure forever. That 1 second they walk around it, and I think with little kids as well, there's always this thing with them where I always think, are they going to remember when they met the fairy guy, or are they going to remember when they got this balloon? Like, is it a big thing for that family, that special moment? Oh, we got a goldfish made out of balloons because Johnny's into goldfish, right? Oh, I remember that. Is that real? Did that really happen? Yeah, it did. It was your birthday party, or yeah, it did. You went around the big balloon world exhibition, right? Oh, there was a place. This building looks familiar, but I don't remember what it was. Oh my goodness, this is where we were going through the Arc de Triomphe made out of balloons. This is where we saw that funny story. This is where me and Dad had a laugh when we needed it,
Amazing.
That's balloons. That's what they do.
Unique thing to say.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
for our last question. We reached to the last question.
There, man. I'm sorry.
I'm enjoying here. I'm really enjoying here with you. So, for our last question, where do you see balloon art going in the next few years? Where do you see the actual art going to?
Wherever you take it. It's wherever you guys are going to take it, right? Like, that's where I see it going. I can't visualize it. There's no way. It's like a child, right? I like talking about children, but it's like a child. A child, you can create like your parents have a child, but they don't know what the future of that child's ever going to be, because it's going to go off and it's going to live its own adventures, right? It's going to go off and be a rock star and then really go, oh, being a rock star is terrible. I really want to be an accountant. Whatever that I like, I don't know. My little boy, right? My little boy, who I remember featuring him in some balloon videos, he wants to be a wrestler at the moment. And oh, man, I'm sure you want to be a wrestler. Great. All right. But it's like balloon art's the same thing. It's a child and it's got endless possibilities. We could take balloon art to a really dark place, right? We could. And that might be the way it goes. Or we could take balloon art to a place that lightens people's lives and amazes them. And I think that's the thing. It will get more amazing as long as we keep creating and adding to the art form with our human brains and our ingenious human hands and our own spirits as well, and what we bring to the balloons. If we keep bringing ourselves to the balloons and creating a human experience for people, it's going to be amazing. And maybe, just maybe, this will be the time that the media and the world catch up on how fabulous balloons can be if used responsibly, and how great this art form is for joyousness. And maybe it's time for balloons. Wouldn't that be nice?
Cheers for that. Okay, my friend, we are at the end of this interview. And I really, really wanted to say that you're amazing. And I'm really honored that you are here and you shared with us all your experience. And thank you a lot. And I hope to see you soon.
No, I hope to see you soon too. And all of these people here, I want to see what they can do. That's what the future of the balloon world is. Whatever these people, I look at you, whatever you can do. So thank you for listening to me. That was a real delight. It's a delight to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. And have a great day, a great week. And I really hope to see you soon. Bye, my friend.
Perfect. Bye.
Thank you for being part of this conversation. I really hope you enjoyed it. Here on VisionAir, we don't just talk about balloons. We talk about vision, courage, creativity, and the people who turn imagination into reality. So if this story inspired you, make sure to follow, subscribe, and stay connected. More episodes, more journeys, and more inspiration are coming soon. I'm Kobe, and this is VisionAir. See you in the next episode.